Hello, I'm Raglin, and this is Not Your Family, Not Your Friend Book Reviews. Book reviews without a conflict of interest. On this channel, I not only review the books by new self-published authors, I also offer up some advice on how to improve their writing. One of the best ways is to read books about how to write. It's also one of the least expensive, since most of these books can be borrowed from the library. I'm reviewing two books today, one about marketing and the other about writing memoirs. Sell More Books with Less Social Media by Chris Syme. First, let me say that I'm not a fan of book marketers. Finishing your book exposes a new author to all kinds of fantasies. Book marketers, in my opinion, take advantage of this brief time of hope and illusion and tell the vulnerable author they have the technique, the system, the gimmick, and for a price of their book, their online course, or their book and online course, they will make this creative masterpiece a bestseller. They don't, they can't. There are just too many variables in marketing, including whether you've written a good book or not, to make any guarantees. In the end, you don't have that bestseller, and you're even more broke than you were before. So, back to Sell More Books with Less Social Media by Chris Syme. This is a social media how-to book packed with examples and stats to back them up. Here's what I gleaned from Chris Syme's statistic-packed book. The only really effective social media for book sales is a website, an email list, and Facebook. Pretty much everything else is a waste of time. Syme gives lots of advice on how to use these three vehicles, backed up again with stats and endorsements from experts, many of whom seem to have formed a marketing cabal, if the solicitations I receive in my inbox are any indication. Syme's approach is methodical, scientific, and very detailed. It's also tedious and time-consuming. Assistance can be found online by enrolling in one of our classes presented by CK Syme Media Group that help authors learn how to do their own marketing. If you think social media is your ticket to a bestseller fame, then I would recommend this book. However, Syme is not making any guarantees and advises that what was statistically the most popular site today may not be tomorrow. I will give her credit for making me focus more on my email list, my advanced reading team, and less on Twitter and Facebook. I gave Sell More Books with Less Social Media by Chris Syme 3 stars. There's some new information on here, but how relevant it is anybody's guess. Social media trends ebb and flow, and it sometimes appears these fluctuations are actually created by the social media marketeers themselves, complete with new buzzwords. I'm always suspect of any how-to books published by someone who backs it up with a course on the same subject. Conflict of interest? You bet. I received this book free as part of an online promotion. Next book is Writing Memoir, The Practical Guide to Writing and Publishing the Story of Your Life by Payne. Payne is a ghostwriter. He writes for other people. Mostly he writes memoirs. He feels, and rightly so, there is something profoundly revelatory in exploring a life in the depth that's required to write about it. He suggests an honest memoir does just that. In his book, Writing Memoir, The Practical Guide to Writing and Publishing the Story of Your Life, Payne is also honest in his assessment of those who want to take this project on. Some people just can't write. Others can't be honest with themselves. However, if you have the proclivity for writing and you can be honest with yourself, this book is an excellent guide. First and foremost, Payne points out that a memoir is not a story of your life, but a story of an interesting part of your life He suggests you approach his memoir as an author approaches a novel, defining goal, motivation, and conflict, and establishing a story arc. If you don't know what all this means, he explains it. He also offers up writing advice, how to show action rather than tell, summary, and passive. There's also information on how to effectively revise and polish your work, and when that's done, how to go about attempting to find a traditional publisher or decide to self-publish. Writing memoir is not the work of an angst-ridden author telling you how he or she struggled to come to grips with writing their own story. It's a very readable, practical guide, excellently presented by a seasoned professional. As a facilitator of creative writing circles, at which many of the participants are writing memoir, I would recommend Writing Memoir, the practical guide to writing and publishing the story of your life, over all other books I've read on this subject. Accordingly, I gave it 5 stars. I received this book and Chris Syme's book in hopes of an honest review. I want to thank both of them for their hard work and